Alright, everybody, welcome to this segment of Sit Down with the Boss. First of all, go to the Crime Family TV, like and subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. We got two guests in the building today from right to left. Give an introduction and let the audience know who y'all are.
What's good with it? DJ Lil King, the mayor of Corpus Christi music scene, you know what I'm saying?
That boy Freak, man. Pretty much a little bit of everything. Man with many hats.
Already. Now, DJ Lil King, where did you grow up and where was you raised at?
Man, see, okay, we'll go into depth about this. I kind of grew up like between the West and the South. Like, when I first came out of the hospital with my mama knew we was living over there in West Haven. Then eventually we moved to the South and we stayed on the South, and then I moved back to the West in like 5th grade, and I went from like 5th grade to like 8th grade, like living on the West, and then moved back to the South with my grandma. But the whole time, my great grandma has always had a house over there on the West. So, you know, I'm from the old school, you know what I'm saying? Wherever is the main home, your granny house, your mama house, your great granny house, that's home. So even when I wasn't living on the West was basically like still home because that was where the home base was. That's where my great granny house was.
Already. And what was it like growing up between the South and the West?
Growing up between the South and the West was, man, it was a lot different because the parts of the South that I was from was kind of like the good parts of the South, and the parts of the West that I was on wasn't necessarily the good parts of the West, which back then it wasn't really that many good parts of the West, you know what I'm saying? So over there in Molina, I'm over here seeing dope fiends running up and down the block, you know what I'm saying? Boys over here chasing cars, you know what I'm saying? Chasing after licks, and boys out there getting it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm over here on the South side, and I ain't seeing none of that type shit, you know what I'm saying? Ain't none of that going on. But so I got like the best of both worlds, you know what I'm saying? From seeing people over here on the South side do it honestly to being over there on the North, being over there on the West, excuse me, not the North, being over there on the West, even though I did spend a little bit of time on the North, but being over there on the West and seeing people get it the fast way type shit. Even though I did see honest working people on the West, so don't get it like confused, you know what I'm saying? And it was people hustling on the South too. I just wasn't involved in my early years. I wasn't involved in much of that as far as what I was seeing, even though I wasn't even involved in on the West, just seeing it, looking at the great granny window, you know what I'm saying, type shit.
Now, Raymond the Freak, man, first of all, we appreciate you for giving us the first Freak interview ever in history. Let me mash that in everybody's face, man. Tell us where the Freak grew up at, man.
Mine's probably something like his too. It kind of hopped everywhere. Like, I ended up, I want to say by my teenage years and a little bit before that, on Hobart and Van Loan. Shout out to my uncles, all the Peñas. If you ever been in Hillcrest on them streets, there was moving trucks that was in that neighborhood, and that's like my family. There was race cars in that neighborhood, that's my family.
Already.
Till this day, my uncle still fights for that neighborhood. He's one of the last actual residents and owners of his property in Hillcrest, and he actually owns a few pieces of property in Hillcrest. So that was a lot of my childhood. I did end up in a trailer park off of Lantana called Gateway. Spent a few years there. Ended up smoking for my first time there. Probably drinking for the first time there. Like a lot of shit got set off in that little neighborhood because it was like a mash of everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew Charles Matthews, Chuck. That's my boy. Rest in peace. I met him there. He put me on like Black and Miles and all this shit as a kid. Like so. You know, my mom didn't know none of that shit, and she told all the older heads to steer clear of me. Don't let me be influenced by them. So they respected her enough not to do it with me, but they kind of gave me a game at the same time. So I found a way. You know, it didn't matter. But
already. Now, do the Freak got any brothers and sisters?
I do got a brother. I got half brothers and 2 half sisters, and one's from my brother's from my mom's side, and my sisters are from my dad's side.
What about DJ Little King? Man, you got any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I got 2 brothers, and then I got a sister. I got a sister that's here in Corpus. I got a brother that's here in Corpus. I got another brother that's up there in H-Town. Shout out to the Boston fam, you know what I'm saying?
Already, man. Now, this is a question I haven't asked anybody yet. Now, growing up young, Little King, would you growing up with both parents or single parent household?
No, I grew up in a both parent household, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got no stories of like my father not being there type shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I can't be out here lying cap and say, oh, I was raised by a single mother. Like, I was raised in a household with both parents. So that's why even to this day, like, I'm a real big voucher of keeping the household together, you know what I'm saying? Even when things ain't always going great, shit. That goes back to with my grandparents, you know what I'm saying? My grandparents was together for 50 years, so just seeing the longevity in that, I've always seen like that type of relationships that from my grandparents to the relationships that my mom and dad had, and they was always together when I was growing up for sure.
Already. Now, Freak, was it a single parent household or both parents?
Shit, my parents split up like, shit, I was probably 1, maybe 2. Just, it was my step pops for all my life, pretty much, you know, till now. He's a necio too, like I told you earlier. He's a hardhead with it. But I mean, they stayed together, like he was saying. Like for the most part, they just kind of, you know, keep it together for the family. Even though we all grew up and moved out the house, they replaced us with dogs and cats and shit, and so they still holding the household down somehow, some way. But yeah, as far as my dad's side, man, I probably ain't seen him since I was about 15, 16 years old. And I'm going to be 38, 39 this year, one or the other. I lose track.
No, really, man. Now, sports, when you was young, Derek Boston, what sports what was he interested in?
And when I was young, when I was like in elementary, I did like summer track. Whenever I got to like middle school, and I played basketball and football in middle school. Shit, I was doing it all. Then I got to high school and I was playing basketball and football, but it's just I didn't have a love for it that I had whenever I was playing city league or playing in middle school. It was just, and I guess I look back at it now, which I didn't realize it then. I back then, like I say, playing city league football, city league basketball, all that shit fun. When you get to middle school and high school, it ain't fun no more because it ain't necessarily just about having fun. Shit, them coaches out there trying to win. Yeah. And when you get to high school, some of these coaches, his jobs is on the line. You know what I'm saying? Depending on if the team win or if they lose or if they good or if they bad. So looking back at it, I understand now that why it was a job. Shit, them coaches out there trying to win state championships and shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit, for damn sure. But I did play basketball and football in middle school and freshman year of high school.
Already. Now, Raymond, did you do any sports as a youngster?
That was like city league shit, and it was like, what's funny enough is I played on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm thinking that's why I don't like them. I don't know, I'm gonna throw that up in the air. That might be what it is. But yeah, that was about it. City league, I think I played basketball like one summer or something like that, but man, I'm talking like under 10 type shit. So yeah, after that it was like it, like in the streets and shit like that, you know what I mean? Like play basketball, like definitely that. Like when we moved into that trailer park I was telling you about, like my mom tried so hard to keep me out of shit. Like she would bring the shit to the house so I wouldn't have to go out, and that was like including any kind of music shit, any kind of video shit, video games. Like my brother was just a baby at that time, so it was easier and cheaper for her to buy, you know, a system for the house or something. And being that we had all this shit, and we had like 2 basketball goals, so we play fucking full court in the trailer park. We got the cops calling us for bouncing the basketball in the trailer park. That sound bounces off them trailers to where you hear that bitch all the way through. So people would call the cops on us, so they set it up like a fucking 11 o'clock curfew to where we couldn't bounce the ball anymore. So I played sports like that, you know what I mean, but never for school. And maybe it's for that same reason he's saying, like the pressure on it compared to doing it for fun. It's 2 different things. If I don't love the shit like that, I'm not into it. And that's with everything to this day, you know, like I put my all into something I'm feeling. But if I'm not feeling it, you know, whether it's from me just thinking it might work or somebody else's idea, nah, you'll see the difference in my work. You know what I mean? Like it'll show.
Already.
Yeah.
Now, DJ Little King, when did you first get into this music?
I first got off into music myself in the year 2000. Just hooking around, like really getting into it just off of that like Napster type shit back in the day. A lot of people don't even know. A lot of youngsters don't even know Napster. So I was on the internet in the early stages of the internet. Like I was on the internet back in the day when a lot of boys didn't even have computers type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
And there was an app. It wasn't even an app. It was a program because it was before apps and shit. A program called Napster, and on Napster you'd be able to just download a whole lot of bootleg music. You know what I'm saying? It was like YouTube, but you download whatever you want, and it was just free game for everything. It was all copyrighted shit. Napster went to court, lost a whole bunch of lawsuits and shit. But basically, it was just a whole bunch of shit on there, and you would just be able to download music, like you say, everything from whatever you wanted. So I'm on this Napster downloading all these DJ Screw freestyles, DJ Screw songs, and just a whole bunch of Swisher House shit, just a whole bunch of underground shit. That's when I really got, because before then I'm listening to like all like the mainstream shit that's like all on the radio. But whenever I like got on that Napster and like discovered that, you know what I'm saying, knowing that it was music coming from, because I knew about the Ghetto Boys and all, and a bunch of like the main, not necessarily say mainstream, because Ghetto Boys was mainstream, but not too mainstream. But when you got on that Napster, that's whenever you was able to figure out like all like the underground artists that was really putting it down. So looking at shit like that, that's whenever like I really just jumped in the game and decided I wanted to start making music myself type shit. So I jumped off in the music game like in 2000, starting not even just making mixtapes, just DJing for the hell of it. Me and my little brother just in my room, just not even like on no smoking and leaning type shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just on some having a good time. We young, we 14, 15 years old, 16 years old, just in there having a good time, messing with my granny's records, just fucking around, just messing with music. Eventually turned into, hey, we want a karaoke machine, or getting a karaoke machine. Now we at the Trade Center looking for instrumental CDs. We at the Bomb Records looking for instrumental CDs and shit, so we can make our own music and shit like that.
Already. Now, Freak, when did you decide to get into this music?
But yeah, it's kind of a weird transition, because it was I mean, music has been around like in my family forever. My mom is the reason I know who Tupac is. Like,
really?
You know what I mean? Like, she put me on Digital Underground, which and therefore put me on pot. And my mom was listening to Curtis Blow. My mom definitely at the time in our family was not like the rest of the family. Like, and meaning that, you know, everybody's listening to Tejano and Spanish, and I don't even speak Spanish. I ain't gonna front and pretend like I can have a conversation, but I might be able to get out of a conversation, but you know, quick on some not knowing Spanish shit. But she put me on all that music. So when I was young, I would start just writing. I ain't had no beats or nothing, or I would just rhyme or rap over, freestyle over whatever we heard. And I think anybody and everybody in their life has done that one time or another. Like, just replace the fucking word in a known song to where it was like your own thing. And to me, that's always been freestyle. That's always been being able to do whatever people like. How do you do that kind of thing? Like, it's not. If you ever read a Dr. Seuss book, bam, there you go. Just change your word and your content. They're doing the same thing. And so, like, you know, and this was like me telling nieces and nephews too at the time when I started out just messing around. But anyway, I would write poetry and write poems or rhymes, whatever you want to call them. I was writing and they rhymed. And so much so, like, I got like a few homies relationships in middle school to be fixed, because I gave them this, sold them this shit as a rhyme to give to their girl to apologize. Cash money.
Oh, really? That was smart.
Yeah. So, and as far as putting it on the actual like you know, beat or something, that shit didn't come for until we got a karaoke machine and until my mom would buy a tape. And on the flip side, it usually had the instrumental. Like just free, like out there. I thought that right now I think that's amazing as fuck. They don't do that no more, and I get why now. But that was dope as fuck. Like you hear whatever fucking original song, and then you get to make your own version. Or I don't even know why they would give out the instrumental.
Well, for
like,
the kids that and the people that don't understand, back in the day,
on cassette,
they would do promo singles. So the song that you would see on BET or MTV, usually that was the single to off the album that they were pushing. And if you could go to we had like Sam Goody, you know what I'm saying? Craig's, stores like that, and you could go there and buy the whole album, or if you didn't want to buy the whole album, you could just buy the single. And usually the single most of the time came with the instrumental.
And like a remix or something.
Remix, sometimes the dirty version and the clean version. Sometimes it even came with like an acapella. Yeah. But back in them days, we was looking for the instrumental for damn show on the single.
Yeah, that for me, that one, like I said, didn't come till later. Like actually being able to do it, I guess. You know what I mean? Like we rapped over that shit. Like I remember like having damn near hours of fucking Up Jumps the Boogie on repeat. And it was me, my boy Thomas, rest in peace, and my boy Charles in the trailer park, fucking just rap stars at 13, 14 in our mind, you know what I mean? It wasn't nothing nobody could tell you. And that shit stayed in our mentality, like growing up, like rapping, just freestyling, because we wasn't making no actual fucking anything. It was just making noise in the street, like.
But back in those days, it was so cool to just have yourself on anything. On anything. Like,
custom anything.
You got SoundCloud and all that. Nowadays, back then, we just wanted to have our shit on a goddamn cassette tape. CDs came a little later, but we could hear ourselves rapping on the tape.
Like, look at this fucking hat. That's been like my whole life. Is I want to wear me. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be me. So it's custom everything. You know what I mean? Like, that's the same way you do them mixtapes and shit. Like, custom mixtapes. Like, this is my version. You know what I mean? I heard DJ Lil King, but you ain't heard the one he did for me. Like,
already.
Like, that kind of shit. So
now, this is a question I can ask both of y'all. We ain't old. We just old school. Now, remember when rap first came out, it was about storytelling. Nobody cared if you lied. The best liar was the best rapper.
Most exaggerated.
You feel me? The most exaggerated who come up with the best stories. Slick Rick.
Give me your
guys like that. You know what I mean? So, when do y'all think it changed to the best rapper had to be a gangster and tell the truth?
See, this is something I was thinking myself the other day, because like you say, I remember, and I come from rap when you didn't incriminate yourself. Like you told someone else's story or your brother's story, your cousin's story or whatever, and it was just as good as long as it was rap good. It didn't matter. Like people nowadays, I guess we got all the social media and people trying to go dig and see if people done really done what they rapping about. But to this day, I'm still a fan of the great storytelling. Like, it don't matter if you did it or if you didn't do it. If you could tell a great story, shit, that's what I like. I know a lot of people, they lying in their raps. He ain't really doing that. He lying in his raps. Like, if the story's good and it's told good, shit, I'm a fan of it. Because at the end of the day, all rap is a form of art.
It's music.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, they forget it's music. They forget the art of the music.
And so, I mean, it just depends on the person that's portraying and what they're portraying at the same time. Like, on a street level, you know what I mean? Like, that's never changed. Checking somebody's nuts has never changed. You know what I mean? Like, checking where they at has never changed. It's just like he said, with the social media, you were able to get this close to him. You know what I mean? Like, he's live right now, so you can ask whatever you want. Like, you can say whatever you want. It's different. Like, we're trying to be too hard in that sense instead of just being able to just make music. Like, like, I don't know why one man making music should stop the next man. Like, the world can make music. And we all can hear different shit. It ain't got to be what you like or what you saying is number one. Because I've seen a lot of conversations like that turn into like, man, fuck you, you don't know shit. Like, that's why you listen to soft shit or whatever type shit. Like, I'm like, okay. That's not the conversation for me.
Okay, now y'all the two dudes. I'm glad y'all here. I just told you, when I know people, I ain't got to look at my paper when I'm talking to y'all. Check this out. we need to get down to the bottom of it. See, y'all just like me. We really want to see somebody get out of here.
Man.
Some artists don't understand and take putting asses in seats. But that's the key right there.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people want to be put in spots they haven't worked to get to. But my thing is, what do y'all think it's going to take, Ashley and Corpus, to get everybody to pull together as a unit to push the city up out of here?
I don't even know. For me, the answer real short, quick. I thought when Flat passed that was gonna do it.
Yeah.
To be honest, and my answer for that is a death. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what brings people together. Like, even people that passed away recently, I ain't seen them forever, man. I'm back in contact with them like I never lost it. You know, like that. I felt would be the answer, but I don't know. I mean, it didn't. We've lost a few, and we're still Corpus. We're still Tragic City. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
well, look, let me try this. Why you think it ain't no Corpus artists headlining shows anywhere?
Because it's all about gaining footwork and traction, and it's also all about being plugged in with the right people at the right time. Like, relationships go a long way in this music game. I can see all the relationships that you've built in just a short amount of time since y'all just really been on y'all shit. I would say since about like 2017. Y'all, I would say, don't even like I was rapping 2015, 2016. I saw y'all, but from 2017 forward, I've just seen y'all just take it to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, the Fifth Ward Boys, and doing all these remixes, and like y'all just took it to a whole nother level. So to me, it's you gotta put yourself out there, and you gotta build relationships. You gotta start building relationships with these out of town promoters.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't just about what you could do in Corpus. And I feel a lot of people, because a lot of people say too, a lot of people feel that if I can't sell out a show in Corpus on my own, then what the hell do I look like going to San Antonio trying to put on a show? And I feel that. But you also gotta stop depending on other rappers to support you, because that piggybacks off the question that you just asked earlier. Like, in my mind, we gotta start, which I don't rap, but in my mind, a lot of rappers gotta stop asking for support from other rappers, and not just in support of, hey, if everybody support each other, yeah, that's cool. But whenever it comes to you being at a show, you can't depend on another rapper or another rapper's fans to stay and watch your set. You gotta have your own set of fans, and that's on you to be out there and making the moves, having the merchandise, hell, maybe even sometimes setting up a meet and greet, approaching approaching people, being an approachable person. That tough gangster shit, like, if you a non-approachable person, then how are people gonna, you know what I'm saying, even want to try to fuck with you? Goes, look at Zero. Zero can change his personality. He used to be all tough and gangster and that shit. Now you go up to Zero, give him a pound, take a picture with him and all that, you know what I'm saying, all that shit.
Already.
So it's all about being available and putting yourself out there, putting it in their face, like, to where a motherfucker can't miss you. Shit, like, shit. If motherfuckers ain't talking about you, put it in their face to where they can't not talk about you.
Already. Now, the first annual Hip Hop Awards. First of all, I can tell, that both of you guys are nominees. I can tell y'all that. From the history of Corpus, I mean, I love all the work I've seen y'all put in. I stayed out the game a long time. It was people like y'all that made me really take the game serious and come back and do the things that I'm doing. I stayed out for a long time. But when I see Little King doing the mixtapes and pushing the merchandise, this wasn't being done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I seen them doing professional album covers, and that kind of shit, especially when we was young, we came from the era of going from 8-track to CD. Took an 8-track to cassette all the way to CD.
Yeah.
We saw those 3 eras in our era. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of stuff that a lot of these older rappers don't know how to do, and a lot of them use that to hate on the young rappers, because the internet. You just have to know how to work that internet. You have to know how to work a computer to be a rapper nowadays. If you want to do things like talk shows like me, I really can't do nothing but set my camera up and do this. But I know I can tell Raymond, hey, I want to take my show up to another level. Raymond know more shit. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, that's why I say I can't miss y'all guys when it comes to. I can tell you, y'all gonna be nominated for awards guaranteed because I mean, you guys are part of the history of Corpus. I just feel so proud to have both of y'all on my couch. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you.
Now, let's get into some jokes, man. I see a dude give y'all hell every time y'all on the book, man. If Raymond come on the book and Derek come on the book, here come Curtis G. Snow. What y'all got to say to Curtis G. Snow live so he can quit coming on here fucking with y'all? And I know it's all fun and games, too, for people that don't know. It's all fun and games, man, but it'd be so funny to me because I be waiting when you and Derek say something for Curtis, and he never failed me, man. He never failed me, man.
I know for sure, no matter what I say, it's not going to stop, first of all. And that's mutual on both sides.
For sure.
So, you know, like, and what's crazy is I didn't even meet Snow through the music. I think, like, I met him, like, fuck, what the fuck? I mean, I didn't meet him through the streets, my bad. I met him through the music. I think I was throwing a fucking cypher downtown, and he had just opened the Snow Carnival. No, man, it was the barbecue place. What was, fuck. Man, I did the graphics for him and everything. It's horrible. Anyway, it was a barbecue spot, and he was like, "Come host it over here." Yeah, it was a Snow Carnival. He was like, "Come host it over here." After he seen we just posted up at T.S. Like, I try to keep it simple. Like, I'm like, if I got what I need to make something happen, whether it's the top of the line shit or not, I execute or try to with what I got. So, and saying that is because I just showed up to the T-Heads with a fucking cooler of water, a bottle of waters, and a fucking radio full of fucking instrumentals that could go for hours. Yeah. And I just put it on Facebook. I was like, come through, y'all want to come through and rap. Well, Snow showed up, but he was just kind of peeping from the back or whatever. Next thing, you know, just checking everything out and shit. Like, and I didn't even know that, but I was taking pictures and shit, and I got one picture of him way over here and the cypher way over there, but he was still peeping game. But anyway, after that, he had hit me up to do one there. So we did one there, and that bitch came out pretty dope. We gave away some barbecue plates and shit, and we had homie DJing instead of, you know, just doing the boombox, like the elevation or whatever we could, you know, do. So that one came out pretty loud. We hadn't done one since, to be honest. Like, we were supposed to do one at the other spot. What was it called? He had changed the name by then. But he had the stage in the back that we did the Young Rollers.
Oh, yeah.
Was it still Snow Carnival at that time?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was the Snowman before.
Yeah, I think y'all was saying the Snowman before,
and
yeah,
then it became the Snow Carnival. Yeah, okay, so that's what it was. So it's the Snowman Cypher. Y'all can actually look that shit up. It's on YouTube. The Block Bleeders, Snowman Cypher, Snowman's Block Bleeder Cypher, one or the other. And that was some years back though, man. But yeah, Green Eye's always been somewhere from the outside looking in, just keeping the game with some, you know, something going on in his head. And, you know, some of the times we try it out and see what happens.
All right, man. Shout out to Curtis G. Snow. All right, Derek, let's talk about Riding High, man. Tell us something about the Riding High brand. Tell us about the car fragrances, man. Let's let it rip.
Riding High was started in 2017, right after I closed the store that I had in the trade center. And it was just, I wanted to start something on my own. Like, I had done business with a partner before. So this time I wanted to do something on my own to try to find my own niche type shit. And I was working in the oil field out there, Keywood and shit, working with my homeboys and shit. And I just left my store, just closed the store and everything. So I'm over here trying to get some money. I'm over here thinking I'm gonna go out into the oil field, get some quick cash. I'm gonna open up another store real quick. Really, that was like my whole plan. Yeah. And I'm over there working in the oil field, and my homeboys basically telling me like, the oil field money was good. Don't get me wrong, but I wasn't used to that shit. I ain't for a lot, nigga. I don't like that slave ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm finna be straight up. So I was in there, you know what I'm saying, working, and my homeboys basically telling me like, I'm already telling them my whole plan from the get go, and they basically like, after like a couple of like months, they like, bro, you should just fuck that plan and just keep on working here with us. Fuck that. Like, just let it go. That store gone. Da da da. Like basically trying to tell me not to do what I had already planned on doing, but I had already had it in my mind. But with these dudes giving me doubts and shit, and these are my homeboys, it's almost making me question myself. Like, damn, should I do this shit? Like, damn, my own friends that used to come visit me in my store telling me not to open up another store type shit.
Yeah.
But eventually, I just said, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do it on my own. Like, I can't go by what somebody else think. Like, I gotta go by my gut feeling in my heart and what I want to do. Like, if I had a plan, if you got a plan and you done told somebody your plan, motherfuckers mostly all the time they're gonna shoot your shit down. So if you just listen to other people, man, a lot of plans would never be executed if we listen to what other people had to say about our plan. So I end up just starting off. I just came up with the brand name. Eventually, I started off by getting me some shirts, and then I went from shirts to like hats. Then from hats to hoodies, and done like different combinations of everything. Then after like 6-7 months, that's when I did the website, which is www.ridinghighbrand.com, and you could go on there and order everything that I have in stock right now. And they got, like he was saying, like the air fresheners. The air freshener was a game that I got put on through a good homie of mine, because he was basically making air fresheners, but I was like, man, I want to do something like that, but with my own type shit. So he basically plugged me in the dough, and that's how I went and started doing the air fresheners. And air fresheners have been like a real big hit because people love Corpus shit, like especially down here in Corpus, like anything like hooks related, Corpus related, like people eat that shit up down here. So that was one of the main air freshener designs and scents that I had that really went. And that design basically came up off of a mixtape series that I did, which is called Coming Out of Corpus, which was a mixtape series that I started, was it 2018 or 19? And from that mixtape series, I ended up doing air freshener shirts, hats, and everything just off of